Hello, everybody. This is Racquel Palmese, and welcome to Wisdom Wednesday. So glad to be here. I've become very excited about doing these Wisdom Wednesdays. There are so many people who have reached out to me. We are finding each other in the matrix, in the web we're weaving together as the world changes, as the huge scar opens and reveals a kind of wound underneath it that has been sort of glossed over and band-aided over and ignored for a very long time. And it refuses to be fixed anymore. It really wants to be completely open and raw, healed from the bottom up. And I feel that that's what's been happening. And whatever contributions that you and I, as we meet up on these Wednesdays, are offering into that collective healing on the planet and all the sentient and other beings, all beings on the planet. May we heal together. May we open to the new together. May we stop looking backwards and turn our gaze inward into the present. Stop trying to reclaim some fantasy of what was and be very present with what is. And that is the mandate, that is the priority for the spiritual journey as it is evolving right before our eyes, right now, right within us and around us. Extreme and radical presence in our moments, that we are alive, that we are completely alive in the moments that we are living. Think about that. Check in with yourself right now as we take a few breaths and get ourselves anchored here. As we drop into our physical body, our beingness, our humanness, as we feel into all of that beautiful complex of blood and bones and thoughts and emotions and spirit that makes up our humanity. Feeling into that with the breath, we breathe in and we feel the robustness of our being. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to feel the fullness of all that you are. We're amazing. And yet we contract and we feel very small, often unworthy, confused, with all the noise machine of the day, as we talk about often on these Wednesdays, kind of dragging us around by the nose and telling us how to feel and who we are. And yet, even though we're far apart, sometimes in other countries, I feel that we are very close in these moments of connection, very close indeed. So as you're breathing, feel release on the out-breath. Just let it go. Let go of the top of your nervous system, all that is happening in your day, in your life right now. Just let it go. Come be with me. Let's be together. Let's have a journey, an adventure together today. Let's see where we want to go, where Spirit is leading us. Just before I hit go live on Instagram and Facebook at the same time, which is always pretty funny. I have two of me in front of me. And they look different colors. Oh well. Just before that, a title for today came in for us to explore. And the title is, Do You Dare to Love? Do you dare to love? Do you dare? And I feel the dare coming from Spirit. I feel the challenge, the gauntlet being placed down right now. Because in order to take up the dare. We might say, of course, I love to love, but it's so much bigger than we assume. As the gauntlet comes down from the universe for us to really love, we can start realizing we have no idea what that means and what it's going to ask of us. So feel into your heart right now. Take a journey inward into your heart. Feel your capacity to love, to really put your whole self into your relationships. How much do you hold back? How much are you not present? What does it mean to love in the bigger context? There are different kinds of love. There's emotional heart love, which is what they write all the country music songs about. And that is romantic love. It's beautiful. It can be very painful. It can be extremely painful. It can take us to the heights and then drop us off the cliff over and over again. Romantic love is only a tiny little bit of what we're capable of. It's just what excites the senses, invites us to become intimate. Romantic love is amazingly beautiful. Sometimes. Sometimes it's a very tough teacher. But as we're dropping in, there is a much greater love that we need to explore. The dare. Do you dare to love? Means, are you willing to actually put your whole heart into every minute of every day? The truth is, the secret ingredient for people that are what we would call successful, not just people that make a lot of money, but people that actually are able to open to their work, to be received in their work, are those that are not afraid to love it with all their worth, to love it so much that they'll do anything for it. All the record keeping and the due diligence and the taking chances and the asking for participation and the finding the money, and all of it is motivated by a willingness to just love it. It's not just wanting it. And even feelings of being unworthy to do it bend under the light of love. Because insecurities don't stand a chance when the fire of love is lit. When we love the things that we do, it opens up a field of energy that is seen by spirit. And if it is moral and just in our own knowing, if we're not busy rationalizing the inconsistencies or misalignments that might exist, if we are in a greater truth, if the things we do are in service, it doesn't matter if we're selling desks to schools or if we're inventing a nonprofit to save the world's water supply. It really doesn't matter. if it's just, if it's good. And if we're willing to give our hearts to it, to be all in, are we willing to put love into everything that we do, big and small? Are we willing to get over ourselves enough to allow love to flow in spite of whatever contentions might exist in a situation? Are we willing to look deeper at wherever we are? As we see people acting out, maybe families, maybe there's a problem with a relative or a friend. Are we willing to throw love in there that is so deep that it becomes possible to find some common ground, instead of just perpetuating and perpetuating whatever the problems are? Feel into it for yourself right now. Feel where you hold back, where you contract when someone's critical of you, maybe. Feel how you take it on, whatever they're saying to you, whatever criticism you might be feeling, or put down, or ignored, bypassed, overlooked, and how you might internalize that and take it on as a truth of yourself and just become so resentful of that person when actually you're believing it at some level. Are you willing to throw love into your life with abandon? It's kind of like, are you willing to take off all your clothes and just stand there naked and say, hey, here I am. I love you. I mean, I'm not advising anybody to do that because they might call somebody and think we're too crazy. But you know what I mean. Feel it in yourselves. Feel when you think about loving, how the hatred, how the insecurity, how the misalignment with life, with your work, with anything starts disintegrating. Feel yourself throwing love into your work. If you're in an office or you're in a situation with other people, what would happen if you truly opened your heart? If you truly dared to love? Look what that does to fear. Look what love does to fear. Love will take us only on its own terms. As the prophet Khalil Gibran wrote, love will take us to the threshing room floor, where we will be made clean and whole. I'm paraphrasing. Love only wants to love. It has no needs other than to love some more. It builds on itself. It becomes a state of being. It is not always a smile. It is often deep contemplation. Love exists often in the depths of our despair. And often we need to be willing to go into that vortex of ultimate sadness to feel the diamond at the very bottom of that pit that glows up at us, to discover our love, to discover ourselves. Love exists in the places of our deepest prayer. Love exists in our willingness to connect with something greater than we are, to open our hearts, even when it's the most uncomfortable thing we could possibly be doing, even when we feel all the forces of our life and our friends and our politics and everything turning inside out and upside down, and feel the things and rocks and stones like coming at us a mile a minute. To be able to find stillness there and open to love. After all, I believe that is probably what the story of the experience of Jesus means. I'm no biblical scholar, but I feel him sometimes on that journey of pain, on that journey of being blindsided, and I feel him in going within his heart, no matter how much it hurt him, and finding the empowerment of his heart, his love, to turn it outward, to turn that love outward, so that the pain, while it hurt, while it would kill him, did not rule him. It actually liberated him. And in our own small ways, we need to be able to understand that love is the great liberator, even though it's often the most courageous thing that we ever do in big and small ways. You have to be real in love. You can't put it on as an act. It doesn't work. When you love, surrender to love. Let it take you. Let it be everything. As you gaze at your child, at a flower, at a video of something wonderful. I saw a picture of I think it was a quartet in a symphony hall playing to an audience in a concert hall. They set up over 2,000 plants in the seats. That was the audience for those musicians, and they played and they played. It was magnificent. Their hearts on fire in acknowledgement of the love that was flowing through them and to them from God. However we define that word, through that force that is. And in that moment, what I felt is that every one of those musicians understood exactly who he was and the power of his or her heart, as the conversation of music with the plants went on and on. As you listen to these words, feel yourself, feel how you would look at anything, animate, inanimate, how you would, if you have the courage to look at yourself through those eyes, through your God eyes, if you're willing to put some love or a lot of love, respect and honor that are parts of love. Letting go of expectation and need to have a certain kind of information or knowledge of what it's supposed to look like. Letting go of all that and surrendering, giving yourself over to just love it, just love you. Imagine for a minute what would happen to the world. What would happen to the world if enough of us adopted real love, if we dared to love, if we dared to seek to understand, not have so many opinions or questions, not feeling dissatisfied about the way creation is unfolding. What if we decided, in the most courageous statement of our whole lives, that we dare to love? Next time, very next person you look at, look deep into their eyes, take a beat, take a moment. Don't rush. Look deeply. Feel your heart open, whoever that is. Feel who they are. This is especially true of someone that doesn't agree with you. Watch something on the news, someone you would consider to be, what? And shift. Look at them through the eyes of love, of creation, of the way Creator must have felt when giving us consciousness. That love, trust that we would survive it, that we would figure out at some point how to get out of our own way and free ourselves to be all that we are. Remember, next person you look at, next person, very next person, and maybe the one after that too. And maybe it becomes a practice as a reminder to yourself. Thank you for everybody that has come on here. I wish I could call you all out. Oh, Oscar Gold, Johanna, thank you, Abbas. Oh, everybody, Marina, Jody Ember. Oh my God, Socorro and Hillary, yay. I know it's not everybody, but thank you so much for receiving this. All my love to you. Enjoy your day, and I will see you next Wednesday.